are one of the most opaque companies I've ever seen, making false claims, terrible posts showing their terrible understanding of science, and being ripped to pieces. After my last video, a lot of you asked if FDA clearance means you shouldn't buy that device. If you're really interested in buying at-home skin or beauty devices or getting clinical treatment, then there's actually a couple of things you need to ask about, and not just whether it has FDA clearance or not. And this video is going to give you every single one. After that, I'm going to take you through a comparison between two devices as an example so you can see how to analyze something for yourself before you buy it. There's a few tiers of quality, and the higher your device ranks on the simplified diagram, the better it is. At the bottom is an FDA clearance by 510K equivalence. All this means is that the device is similar to something already on the market. It doesn't actually say anything about whether it can cure your skin condition. Simply a method of getting a product to market in a more convenient way than the next tier up for that manufacturer. It's an irrelevant measure of device quality because you as an end user don't care whether your device is similar to something else on the market. You care whether your device can help you or not. Next up is FDA clearance by testing. This is slightly better than a 510K equivalence, but it's still pretty useless. Essentially, instead of saying your device is similar to something that's already on the market, you submit some testing data of your device. But because that data will be analyzed by FDA scientists, I think it's a completely corrupt process, as you can see from my previous video where I show you the manipulation that goes on during that analysis by FDA scientists during the approval process for medical devices. Does that mean FDA clearance by testing or equivalence is completely useless? Yes, it does. Does it mean you can measure your device quality based on them? No, it doesn't. For example, you can have a terrible device that's similar to something on the market already, and it can get FDA approval by equivalence. But you can also have a fantastic device that's like nothing on the market, so you can't get equivalence, and maybe the company isn't able to produce a huge amount of testing data, maybe because of budget constraints as an example, so it doesn't get approval by testing either. That's why the next step up in this tier is even better. Now we have medical CE. This essentially means you have a medical license. This is what you should care about. You're buying a device not because it's similar to what's on the market, but because you want to clear your condition. And medical CE means that this device is able to clear a condition. The final and best tier, however, is simply to look at the measurable metrics of that device's statistics as well as the transparency of the company. There are devices which may not have medical CE certificate, but their statistics and the strength of the device are measurable and not based on opinion or fancy words on a website is extraordinarily high, and thus they're still able to provide a fantastic result for anyone that uses it. If the company is transparent about this, then they'll provide any and every statistic you like, which is a show of how much they have nothing to hide, because they know that their device is the best. But if a company refuses to give you certain stats, chances are it's because they don't want you to realize there's something better out there which you can see once you use their stats to compare. But the problem you guys have in the public is that you don't know which stats to ask for each device. But that's okay, because that's what this channel is for, and I've got you covered. I'm going to compare these two devices now. The Lima Laser is absolutely one of the worst skincare devices I've ever seen in my life, and the Dermalux LED series is the most powerful LED series anyone has ever invented. FDA clearance. They both have it from equivalence, but does that say anything about either of them or their ability to help your skin? No, because it's simply a more convenient way for the companies to sell their products and nothing more. Medical CE. As you can probably guess, the Lima Laser has no medical CE whatsoever, whereas the Dermalux has multiple because it's so powerful. And at the end of the day, what you want a device for is to solve your problem and not to be similar to something else already sold, as I've already said. And just so you know, by the way, there's only one LED range in the entire world that's good enough to attain a medical CE, and that's Dermalux. Let that sink in before you decide to go off and buy something else. If other devices were powerful enough or good enough for your skin, why haven't they also been given medical CE? Why have they only got something useless like FDA clearance, if anything at all? Transparency and metrics. Dermalux are one of the most transparent companies in the world, and that's because their statistics are the highest of any device ever made. So the reason they are so transparent is because they know Even if other companies see their statistics, they know that they still can't be beaten anyway. That tells you that you're buying the best device out there. Lima are one of the most opaque companies I've ever seen, making false claims, terrible posts showing their terrible understanding of science, and being ripped to pieces in my takedown videos, sentence by sentence, to show the levels of nonsense that they're churning out. Pay attention to the following though, so you don't get fooled by creators as well on social platforms. Why are there so many people talking about how good the Lima laser is on YouTube and other platforms? Well, the first point to make is that none of these people actually understand how devices like this work, and none of them have ever gotten an independent test of the device done. And if you don't believe me, watch their videos and see how much time they spend talking about the technical aspects of the device itself and the biology, specifically of what's going on inside the cell on the level that I have, and whether or not they've had the device independently tested. And then compare it to the videos that I've done on the product and see the difference for yourself. They know how to use fancy words to make it sound like they're speaking credibly, but that's it. Second of all, they could be paid to make those positive reviews, whereas on this channel, I have absolutely no sponsorships whatsoever from anyone. So I am free to compliment and criticize any device I like.